Barbell back squat is one of the most effective tools for lower body muscle development. But when you load heavy iron on your spine and rely on gravity to do the work, you invite a massive amount of physical risk. Without strict control, the very movement designed to build strength will shred your knee ligaments and compress your lumbar discs. To protect your joints and maximize your power, you need to follow a strict, repeatable sequence. We call this the iron path. It is a biomechanical checklist that dictates exactly what your body should do before the bar even moves, all the way down to the bottom of the lift. To show you exactly what this looks like, meet V. We will use V as our anatomical standard to demonstrate perfect technical execution and to highlight the precise points where the movement most commonly fails. By internalizing this checklist, you remove the guesswork. You take a movement that often feels unpredictable and turn it into a highly controlled, reliable engine for absolute strength. Step 1 begins before you unrack the weight. A heavy squat cannot start with a casual approach to the bar. You need to build a rigid structure, and that starts directly on your back. Notice the setup on the left. Resting the bar high on the neck creates an unstable, wobbly center of mass. Instead, pull your shoulder blades together and pin the bar tightly low across the rear deltoids. This locks the weight directly into your skeletal structure. Next is foot placement. Forcing a stance wider than your natural hip mobility causes the knees to cave inward and limits your depth. Bring your feet into a proper shoulder-width stance, pointing the toes slightly out. With the bar set and your feet planted, you have to stabilize your spine. If you attempt to squat with a relaxed stomach, your core will fold under the weight. You need to generate intra-abdominal pressure. Take a massive, deep breath, expanding the chest with air, and forcefully contract your abdominal muscles like you are bracing for a punch. This creates a solid, pressurized column of support entirely surrounding your spine. By locking in the bar, finding your natural stance, and pressurizing your core, you dictate the safety and power output of the rep before gravity even takes over. Step 2 is the descent. Now that you are braced, you have to lower the weight. You must dictate the speed of the downward momentum, rather than letting the weight dictate you. Dropping rapidly into the squat relies on your joint cartilage to catch the load at the bottom. Avoid that entirely. Use a deliberate, steady tempo. Keep your muscles under constant tension to actively guide the bar downward. As you lower, you have to manage your center of gravity. If your torso leans forward, the center of mass shifts dangerously over your toes. To correct this, keep your chest tall. This balances the load directly over the middle of your foot. You can confirm this balance by feeling the pressure on the floor. If your heels lift off the ground, you are off balance. Keep the entire surface of your foot flat, with your heels driving firmly into the ground to anchor your stance. Maintaining a steady tempo and an upright chest keeps the load evenly distributed across your legs, preventing your mechanics from collapsing as you reach the hardest part of the lift. Step 3 takes us to the absolute bottom of the squat. This position is known as the hole. It is the point of maximum mechanical stress and where your joints are the most vulnerable. First, establish your target depth. Cutting the rep short places disproportionate strain on the knees. A complete rep requires lowering the weight until the crease of your hip falls just below the top of your kneecap. As you hit that depth, watch your knee tracking. Letting the knees collapse inward destroys your lateral stability and pinches the hips. You must actively push your knees out so they track in the exact same direction your toes are pointing. This brings us to the most critical error you can make: lumbar flexion. If your lower back rounds under the weight, exposing your spinal discs to extreme shearing forces. Keep that intra-abdominal pressure tight. Focus on keeping your chest up so your spine maintains a straight, neutral line from your neck down to your hips, completely protecting your vertebrae. If you can maintain an upright posture and outward knee tracking through the deepest phase of the movement, you will maximize lower body muscle recruitment while keeping your joints safe. Step 4 is about the weight itself. Adding weight to the bar over time is necessary for progressive overload, but it is incredibly easy to fall into the trap of ego lifting. When you load the bar with a weight that exceeds what your muscles can handle, your skeletal structure attempts to compensate. Your form degrades, your back rounds, and the risk of catastrophic failure spikes. Look at the difference. The lifter on the left is buried under excessive plates, losing all mechanical advantage. The lifter on the right executes strict, pristine form with a moderate, manageable load. The total weight on the bar is just a tool. It is the application of tension through flawless execution that forces your muscles to adapt and grow. Let's review the framework. Set a rigid back and core. Control your downward tempo. Drive your knees out and keep your spine perfectly straight in the hole. And always pick a weight that allows you to maintain that exact posture. Now it is time for you to check your own work. Record your next working set from the side and the front. Compare your mechanics directly against the visual standards we mapped out today. Holding yourself to this strict mechanical discipline is the best way to ensure years of uninterrupted progress in the gym, free from lower back and knee pain. Building a perfect squat does not require special genetics. It simply requires you to make a deliberate, step-by-step choice to prioritize precise execution every single time you step up to the rack.